Come underneath and start disconnecting stuff. Take these two little hooks out, pop that back, and you're obviously going to find a lot of change. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a conversion today on my car on what are the more desirable upgrades or changes that a lot of people want to do. A lot of people that have GT seats wish they had competition seats, and I'm going to be doing a conversion today. These are very hard to come by. A lot of times you have a hard time finding them online, but there is a place where you can buy a kit to convert your seats over. I got this kit from a company called Performance Corvette down in Florida. I'll link everything down below, and you can go on there and you can basically order a kit from them, and they'll send you all the parts you need to convert it over. Now, this is a little bit of a task to do. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's certainly not the easiest to do either. It's very tedious, but it can be done. So if you're having a hard time finding these seats, then you can order this conversion kit from them, and they'll send you all the parts. Now, keep in mind when you order it from these guys, it is going to take quite a while, and they clearly state that on their website more than a few times and in the emails that they send you. When I ordered the parts, it took about 2 months for all the parts to show up, but then once you get everything, they send you pretty much everything you need, minus like a couple of screws, which I'll get to in a little bit, and I'll show you what you need to convert it. So you can custom it with the suede inserts, with whatever color stitching you want, or matte black or gloss black, the little carbon fiber pieces and all that, and you can finish the backs, everything as well too, but it does take a little while for them to show up. So once you get it, I'm going to show you how to do the conversion right now. Okay, so I already went ahead and converted one of the seats over already. I went ahead and did the driver's seat. Now, what I ordered was just a plain black gloss finish on the back, because that really doesn't matter to me, but you can get them in custom colors and everything like that. And I went with the suede inserts because I really wanted that, and that's what I went with. And I got the stitching to go for it as well too. You can customize the color of the stitching and change it however you want, red or whatever. So that's the competition seat right there. And this is the GT seat that the car came with from the factory. Now, I already did the driver's seat. The process for the passenger seat is going to be identical and exactly the same, so I'm going to show you how to do it, so that way you can just do it on both. It's going to be the same exact process for both. This kit that I bought, mind you, like I said before, it did take about 2 months for it to show up, and it is going to show up in separate boxes. They are going to come in, I got mine in 2 different boxes, and it does cost about $2,700, I believe, once I got all the parts. So again, keep in mind they have no ETA, because a lot of these parts come from GM, so they can't give you anything. You are going to be waiting a little while, but that's through no fault of their own. You will retain all functions: heated, cooled seats, all the functions as far as moving things in and out, and the lumbar support and all that. The only thing that I'm pretty sure that you actually do lose is the adjustability of this, but on mine I was actually able to keep it because mine came with it from the factory. And if you have heated seats and cooled seats, you are going to have to swap over a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to add heated and cool seats, this doesn't work for that. You need to already have them from the factory. So, but there's the competition seat and there's the GT seat. Here's all the parts that you're going to get. And like I said, there's only one of these sets right now because the other one is already installed, but here's everything you're going to get. You're going to get the seat bottom cushion right there. Right there. The seat back cushion, which is right there. And you are going to get the hard frame for the back as well too. You're going to get the new cushion for it as well. That little piece that goes in the backrest where the seat belts can go through. And you're going to get these pieces right here. This is a new bracket for where you mount the side airbag, and this is a cover for the side airbags. So this piece, this piece, this piece, the cushion, and then all of these 3 things, the backs, the covers themselves, and the back frame, those are all going to be one-sided. So they're going to be driver-sided or left-sided. Excuse me, not this piece, but they're going to be all driver-sided. So the back cover, the seat cushion cover, the back frame, and then the 2-piece cover for the airbag, and then the bracket for the airbag are all going to be, you know, driver side and passenger side, so you are going to have to coordinate with them. This piece right here, and then the cushion itself, those are not side to side. Those can work on either way. So you just have to swap it over and figure it out from there. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing you're going to do. Obviously, is going to be removing the seat. Removing the seat is nothing too tricky. There's just four 13mm bolts that hold it in. You won't see this little silver stuff here too. This is sound deadening that I added, so don't be alarmed if you don't see that. So you just take those four out, and then you got to disconnect this harness, and then you also have to disconnect the seat belt. So disconnecting this harness is not a big deal. There's just one little push clip right there, and then there is this large connector right here. And then you also have to get the seat belt off as well. So now, to get that harness out, you'll see you got the one little hole right there that holds in the push clip connector, and then you got this big connector right here, which is a lever action, which gets the big connector, that master connector in and out. Now, as far as removing the seat belts, there's just a little plastic cover right here. You just pop that cover off with a little screwdriver, a little pry tool, and there's a T30 right there. You take that bolt out, you slide the thing down, and then it'll come up and come right out. Now, before you get going on this and everything too, make sure you have a good work area to do this on. I have a table set up. It's going to be a big help to do everything on it with, and it's going to help out tremendously for that. Also, just make sure you have a covering down there too, so that way you don't scratch anything coming in out of the car. And it's going to help, obviously, if you take the roof off as well too, getting the seat in and out of the car. So, and it's also a good excuse, now that you have everything out, and I'm going to do it later, you can actually vacuum this up, because this stuff's hard to get to, and it's just another good thing to do. So that'll come in handy also. So to start to take the seat apart, we're going to take apart all the covers first to get everything off. You actually don't have to separate the bottom and the back in order to do this. It's actually almost impossible to separate them, so just leave them intact, but you're just going to remove everything as it goes, and I'll show you how to do it. So the first thing you do is just pop this cover off right here, a little pry tool. It just clips, and it pops out. And there's your airbag. This piece now is not going to be reused, because that's from the GT seats. Next thing you're going to want to do, take this bottom cover off, okay? Flip it up on its side here. There is a T15 in the back here. Take that out. And then this, you're just going to pull, because there's clips that hold it in. There's two electrical connectors that you got to disconnect, here and here. Now, to get this thing out is a little bit of a challenge, because you got this one little hook right here. It kind of hooks over on the top. There's a little bar right here that it hooks onto. Then you have a clip right here. This piece slides in and holds something, and down here this piece slides into this little hook right here. So you got to slide all that out to get this out. Disconnect your two electrical connectors, and this piece will come out. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this airbag out, because there's two separate airbags. There's this one up top and this one on the bottom. They're both inflatable, or excuse me, this is a retractor and this is an airbag, but you have to disconnect both of these. Obviously, whenever you're taking the seat out of the car too, before you do it, disconnect the battery, so that way you don't accidentally take something out. Take this bolt out right here. This is just a T50. And then you're going to disconnect this. Take a little pick tool, take that orange thing, orange little clip, you're going to push it up, and then once it's up, now it's free, and you can wiggle that out. Take that, put it to the side. Okay, next you got to get this little handle off. This piece is part of the seat back, so it doesn't come off, but this handle comes up. So push that up a little bit, take a little pick tool, right angle, go in there and hook behind it, and then pull back on it, and then pull the lever out. It is going to stick a little bit, but that's about it. So this piece, once you see it on the side, take a pick tool, go on the side of it, hook it on the back to relieve the tension, and then pull it straight up and it'll come out. Okay, next you're going to go ahead and take the seatbelt receiver off. There is a wire on here for the seatbelt sensor. It's tucked underneath, but we'll get to that in a second. But just take this bolt out for now. It's a T50. Okay, next you're going to come underneath and start disconnecting stuff. Take these two little hooks out, pop that back, and you're obviously going to find a lot of change. Find a couple little goodies all over the place in here. Next, you're just going to start disconnecting all these connectors. This connector right here comes out. This connector right here. This is for the airbag. Pull back on the red tab. That's going to come out. You're also going to want to take these things actually out of the tabs. So there's one little push right here. There's another one holding this big connector in. Okay. Go ahead and disconnect everything from there. Undo this Velcro. Undo this Velcro. And then this thing right here, this is a little tie that's going to hold the seat in. Getting the new one in is going to be a real pain in the butt. So to get this off, I just say bend it and unhook it. Getting the new seat cover comes with a new tie, so don't worry about it. Okay. Then go ahead and pop this one out here. And pop this one out of place as well. This gray one. That's just going to get everything up and out of the way for you. Now you're going to loosen up this tab right here. Now this kind of like pulls over and hooks on top of it. So just go ahead and take a pry tool and just get it up and over that lip to release it. Okay, now be mindful of this wiring harness because it does go through this hole right up here. You're going to have to retuck that in later. Now you're also going to see this right here. This is the same thing. It's just a little hook that goes on. One of them, this is for the cushion and this is for the seat back. Go ahead and pull that up too. Next, go ahead and pull this cover off. Pop it out. It's going to be two T15s right here. Now this, when it goes in, when it comes out, it hooks in the back and there's two screws there. So it's two screws and then that little hook to pop it in and out. Then you're going to want to go ahead and get the seat cover off. From here, everything is just pushed into a crease right here all the way around. So start at the bottom or wherever you want. You know, I would say be careful not to rip it, but you know, it's not going to get reused anyways, but you know, try not to rip it, it's just in good taste. And pull up that crease. And then just work your way around and get this cover off. Okay, now at this point it's free, but there's still Velcro on it. So you're going to have to pull it a little bit. The centerpiece is going to really kind of give you a little bit of a hard time, but not that bad. There's still Velcro and these little clips, these little bars that like clip in right here. So pull those out and now you've got this out. And now this thing doesn't get reused. Obviously this is the old cover. Next you're going to take the cushion out, but just be a little mindful when you take it out. There is a fan on the back, and it inflates and lowers the lumbar that's in the back. And also, if you have it, this is your heated seat element. You're going to have to transfer that over too. This you're just going to have to kind of pull up, and you got to re-glue it back down. But so this, we'll just pull out. Some of the connectors that you had before. Oh, I have one more connector right here that I didn't disconnect, so I gotta disconnect that one. This will allow you to pull the whole thing right out. Now this is not going to be reused, obviously. This is the little bag that inflates for your lumbar. So this is just sitting in here with just some clips. Pull them right out, comes right out, and then this will come out too. Peel that off, set that aside, you're going to reuse that. And the heated seat element you're also going to reuse. Pull it off kind of carefully because you do have to re-glue it. There's just no easy way to do it. You're going to ruin the cushion a little bit. But pull it up, get it out, because you have to transfer it over. And when you're pulling it up, be careful. Try not to, obviously, be mindful of this. You don't want to rip it, otherwise your heated seats aren't going to work. Now this, obviously, when I pulled it up, a lot of chunks came with it, so I'm going to have to kind of pull it apart a little bit, but I'll get that off on my own. Save that, you're going to reuse that. Now this is no longer of any use. This gets tossed. Okay, next, the hard shell backing comes out. That's going to be held in by a bunch of T15 screws. There's a T15 right here on the side holding in the bracket for the airbag. And you got two here, and two here. And then there's two clips here and two clips behind here that also have to come out. So just take all those out and this thing will pull out. Okay, now this is out. Okay, now this bottom piece is going to get transferred over. You have to move it over, and it's just held in by these little rings, okay? So getting those out is a little bit of a pain. So you got to get behind them, and you have to kind of like work it up. However, a lot of times when you're doing it, it's going to break, just like that. If it does, no big deal. This thing is not getting reused anyways. So if it breaks, and if you get to that point where now you have the ring stuck on there, this is fine. Just take it and just push it all the way through to the point where you can get the ring off, and you still need that ring. This is now obviously garbage, but you still need these rings, so hold on to those. Okay, hold on to this piece. Is this going to get reused? This piece is now garbage. Okay, next come over here to your side airbag. This little orange clip right here, just gonna kind of get in between there and pry it down, and then this thing will just push down. Once you have that free, you have a T40 right here and a T40 right here. Go ahead and take those out and the airbag will come out. Excuse me, T30. Now once you have the airbag out, separate it from this bracket. Two 8mm nuts right here, because you're going to get rid of this bracket and use the new one. This is now garbage. So go ahead and grab your new one now, put it on just to make sure that it orients itself. There and there. Yep, it's the right side. Or the correct side, excuse me. And the airbag is just going to go in like that and reattach the nuts so that way it's all one complete thing. So now you have this, set it aside. Obviously going to reuse that. Be careful, it is an airbag. from here, everything is loose. You're gonna take this drawstring and just pull it out. So be on the other side too. And you can just start pulling up on it. Work the connectors out. And just get it up over the lips that it's around on the side. And this thing will just pull up. There's one clip here on the side. Undo that. And there's some Velcro in those same little bars that were in the seat back cushion. Just pull those. Okay, this wiring harness is going to go through this one hole right here. Just work it out there, and that's it. Now this is out, and this is now also not going to be reused, so it's garbage. Now if you want to get it out of the way, you can, but here's that other electrical connector I was talking about. This is just your seat belt. It's just pressed in right there, and this just goes in. I'm going to leave it attached because there's no point on pulling it out because you're just going to have to stuff it back in anyways. And it's hard to get that in if you have the cushion cover on. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that in there, just leave this like it is. So now the seat is pretty much ready to be assembled with all the new parts. So the first thing I'm going to put back on is the actual cushion itself. So do yourself a favor when you put this on, make sure you clip all this stuff in first before you try to fight it around the edges. Otherwise you're going to have a really hard time. You're going to end up pulling it back off anyways. These little bars, these little like plastic bars right here, there's little orange clips down here, 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 and here that these actually clip into, and that's what keeps the cover down against the cushion. Make sure you clip those in, and there's also a little like Velcro type material on both sides that goes in these channels right here. So push all those down first and get those into play, and then work the seat around otherwise. I'm not going to lie, they are a little bit of a pain to get in, but you will hear and see them kind of snap into place. You'll feel it. Okay, then move up to this one. And once those are in, start to pull it over the corners. And you're going to work that Velcro in on the sides also. Now this is going to be very tight, so you got to have some patience and really like work it around. Now the next thing you're going to have to do is transfer over, this is the heated element for the back, okay? Now this is a little bit different. It's not going to fit completely, so you are going to have to kind of work around it a little bit. So take this and you're going to push it into these little, this little crease right here, which is pretty obvious, but you're still going to see these orange clips right there. That one, and that one. And you're going to have these bars that go across in the seat cushion that are going to clip in just like on the bottom, okay? And there's ones on the top too, but then there's also ones on the middle. But you see them right there, there, and there, but then when you cover it, it covers those. So what you're going to want to do is once you get to the seat cushion, the little bar, what I did was I just kind of snipped it on the end a little bit and then hooked it in the end over here. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do because this is meant for a GT seat, not a competition. So that's why it's hard to get around, but you can get around it just because the bar is going to extend a little bit this way. So I'd say just snip it just a little bit, so that way you can kind of sneak it in behind. It is going to be tedious, but you're going to get it in that way. Next, to glue this down, you can use whatever fabric or glue you have, super glue, whatever. I use this. This is a tear mender. This is that same stuff that I used on that video I made a little while ago about fixing the 3LT dash bubbling. So this stuff works pretty good. Just kind of glue it down, press it down, and let it set while you're kind of putting the rest of the seat together. So say glue this first, because you're going to put something else together while the glue is drying. Okay, so next you're going to put this thing together, and you're just going to transfer over this piece that you had before. Easy enough. There's little holes right here. Just lines right up. Push them all in. And once you have them in, you're going to go ahead and get those rings that you grabbed from before. And that's what's going to secure this thing in. Just push all those in. And this thing will be set. Okay, next this back piece is going to go into place. Line it up. It's going to hold in place with the 4 clips. Now the only thing you have to do is this little bracket right here for the airbag, you're going to have to kind of get it into that hole first and then swing it around, because the bracket's going to go on differently from when you took it off from the GT seat. But once you have it all lined up, just get the 2 bottom ones in, get the 2 top ones in, and then put all your screws back into place. You also have to line up this little lever over here for the releasing of the seat, so that way you can get it to move forward. Once you have that, now you're going to put all your screws back in, the T15s, 2, 4, and 6. Put those 6 in. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is get this cushion, or excuse me, the cover onto the cushion. Do it the same way that you did the where the seat portion is. These little black like clip bars that are in here, these are going to snap into this just the same, just like that. And then there's the Velcro along the sides here that go in these channels to get the whole thing down. So go ahead and put that in, because if you don't do that first, if you try to put the cushion in first and then put this on top of it later, it's not going to work. You're going to end up pulling it back out. So kind of line it up a little bit to where you think, and then just start the top and work your way down. Again, you'll hear and feel it kind of clip in when it goes in like that. Okay, once you got those in, now we can move on to actually putting it in the seat. Now this whole piece, and don't forget you got those wires down there, tuck them through. And then also, don't forget to transfer this piece over too. This is the bag that inflates the lumbar. There's clips right here, 3 of them. It just goes right in. Now those aren't really going to like snap into place, but they do go in. Run that down too, run those wires. Tuck it down through. Then you're going to lift this thing up and put it in place. Now this cushion, you're going to kind of see how it wants to sit. There's going to be like a mold and a lip for it to go over on the side here, where it's basically just going to sit. Just like that. These little pieces, get rid of them. They're extra anyways. And then press it in. And it's just going to sit in there kind of loosely for now. Now this piece in the front, you're going to see, you got to tuck those corners in right there, and this is going to sit in there, and then this will sit on the top just as well too. And then once you have that, now you got to work this cover on. This part is the most annoying and tedious part of the whole process, and you'll see what I mean right now. Now Now once you kind of have everything loosely in place, go to the top here and find these two little notches. Try to center it in the top of it. Now what you have to do is take this part right here and push it into this crease right here, okay? So what you do is come over here, get it as lined up as you can, and slip the tool, a little plastic pry tool, in there and push it in. Once you push it all the way in, take your thumb, hold it, so that way you can slip the tool out, so that way it stays into place. And then you just gotta keep working it around until you're all the way in, all the way over. Now there are gonna be times when you are trying to working it around and it's gonna pop out. I have multiple different tools to do that. So what I did was stick one in, leave it in place, and then push it in with another one, and then work your way down, putting it in, and then finally when you get to like when there's a couple tools in place, pull the other one out and kind of hopscotch and jumps over, so that way it stays into place. It is the most tedious part of it, and it's the most annoying, but it's got to get done, obviously. So this is that technique that I was talking about before. Obviously you need multiple tools to be able to do it. So I push that one in, set it, and then push that one in, set it, push that one in, let it sit there, and then I got one in. Now I can have these hold this into place. When I push my thumb down and hold it in there, and then pull that tool out, and then move it up to this point where I can now push that portion in. And then once I get that portion in, leave the tool in there, and then pull this one out and keep working my way down. Once you get towards the end and you get closer to it, you're gonna see just how hard it is to get this in, because it's gonna be tight. So this is just a little technique that I use to get myself through it. Now one thing I forgot to do before I put this on, I forgot to mention it, there is a piece of Velcro right here that goes from this strap and it goes around to the other side here. Just if you forget to put it on like I forgot to, just simply reach behind, the Velcro is right here, and just connect it to, because that's gonna hold it to the seat back. Now moving on to the next part here, what I'm going to do is next I'm going to install this cover that goes in right here. So these just clip into place. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and then there's one in the center right here, okay? So just tuck everything in down here and on the sides and the back, so that way you can see all the holes that you're going to clip it into. If you can't see them, they're not going to go in. So you got 1, 2, 3 right there, and then there's a fourth one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, and then there's this one in the middle. Now this is going to be, you're going to need a lot of pressure to put this on. It's hard to clip it in. So I would say lay the seat down, because you're not going to be able to really squeeze it otherwise. And just kind of line it up, push it in, and as they go in, try to hold pressure as you clip in the other ones, because they're going to want to pop out until you have all of them in. Okay, and there it is. And you can feel when it's in, because the gap in between the two pieces, like right here and right here, is going to be almost non-existent. It'll be real small. Feel all the way around to make sure that it feels even. That way you know you're in. So now you have that piece in. Okay, now you're going to move on to connecting all these things on the bottom. Now you got to kind of set the wiring harnesses up to where they're going to go. Otherwise you're going to clip things in and you're going to be in a bad position. So first thing you're going to take is this harness right here. This is a 10-pin connector right here. There's a hole in the bottom cushion cover that you got to feed it through, because once you feed it through, it's going to connect over here. Then there's going to be two other harnesses. There's going to be this one that has 2 wires coming out of it, and there's going to be this one that has 3 wires coming out of it. Put the 3-wire one all the way on this side. So this is the passenger seat. So this is going to go towards the buckle, like the buckle receiver, okay? So push it towards that side, and obviously just mirror it for the driver's side. Then take the one that has 2 wires and go towards the side of the seat where the airbag is going to be going, and have it go through there. and then pull this one through the middle. Now you got to take these clips right here and you got to pull them up, and this is going to be a pain because you got to pull it tight, pull it up, and get it to snap into this rail right here, and then the other cushion right there onto this rail right here. So once you get those in, you move on to the next step. It's just going to be hard to do. It's not going to be easy. You're just going to have to pull up, possibly using hook tools and pliers, but you got to get them on. Okay, the next part is taking this little drawstring right there and connecting it to the other string right there. So when you do that, make sure you have the cushion and the cover tucked in all the way around on the sides, on both sides, just like this, okay? Now once you have it in there, kind of get the hook a little bit, and it's going to pull. This string is going to stretch a little bit. So you're going to want to take 2 pairs of pliers and pull them together. So what I do is take the little hook and bend it back just a little bit. Get it in and just get it hooked right there, and then squeeze that hook tight. You'll see what I mean. So go ahead and grab it with 2 pairs of pliers, and you're going to pull as tight as you can. It is going to be very hard to do it. So once you get it, you're going to have a hard time, but like I said, okay, once you have it hooked like that, go ahead and take the hook and squeeze it together. And that's going to pull it a little more and keep it from coming undone. Now just connect all your wiring harnesses again. Pull this harness over. That goes into the airbag. Push your retainer clip for the red. That goes into there. This gets connected. Now this goes in right there. This one is going to give you a hard time because you're pushing against the cushion. Okay? And that goes into the big one. This one goes in right here. Watch this air line right here. Just don't pinch it. Okay? These come over. That connects in right there. And then this one connects into right there. Once you have that, bring these Velcro pieces in the back. Take the white cover off. And you're going to connect these pieces. They're just Velcro. And there's another Velcro piece on the bottom here. And if you forget to take it out, like I did, you're going to kind of have to fish around for it a little bit here. Not a big deal. Then you just pull it right on out. Okay. Again, take the whites cover off. And you're going to have to work it a little bit because, well, it's the first time it's going on. Okay. And this cover comes over here. And it just clips into there. Tuck in the tag. Okay, and now you're done underneath here. Now you come over here to this side. Make sure you have a couple of things exposed. Make sure that this hook is through here. Make sure that you can get to that metal bar right there. And make sure that this little hook right here is exposed because you're going to have to get to that. Obviously you need your wiring right here for the airbag. This wiring and this wiring harness right here for the seat, because the seat cover is going to go on the side here. First, you're going to put on the seat belt though, and you can also take this little piece and put this back into place also. This just pushes on and clips right in, and that's it. Take this seat belt retractor. There's going to be a pin back there for it to line up into, and a T50 to get it in. Plug in the seatbelt retractor and push the orange clip down as well too. And you're going to get this piece in. Plug in this electrical connector. Plug in this one. And you're going to work all these clips and hooks into place so that way this thing stays into place. This hook right here, this hook onto here, this clip onto here, and then this goes in the back. And then this, there's a little notch right here, and it hooks onto this right here. Once you have those in, it's just that T15 in the back here. This thing is going to be it's going to be very difficult to get this in. Not gonna lie, there's just no easy way to do it. When I say that, I mean all these clips right here. It's just, I would say start with this top hook, then do that one, then get to this one, and then put the bolt in back here, the screw in back there. There's just no easy way to do it. It's gonna fight you. It's tight, it's brand new, it's gonna be hard. Next thing to go in is gonna be the airbag. You already have it on that bracket. So just plug it in on the bottom. It only goes in one way. Push that orange clip to secure it. And once you line that up, you're going to have these two bolts. These are T40s. One goes here, and the other one's going to go up top right here. Now this is going to go in differently. It's going to look different from the GT seat. It's supposed to. It's a completely different bracket, and that's okay. Tighten those. Nope. T30. 30. Okay. Now this cover is going to go on. This cover is going to go on first. You're going to slide this part in first. And then this hole right here is going to be a screw that you took out before. It's a T15. Just slide that in. Line it up. Get your T15. It looks like that you took out before in a different place. And screw it into there. Now the cover is going to slide right in. Now there's 1, 2, 3 places in here where you have to put a screw, and it doesn't give you screws. So I had to come up with my own. I found these, they work pretty well. Just find a screw about that big and that's what's gonna work. So then just line the cover up. And there's going to be one clip right here too where it's going to push into the seat that way. Get those in and you'll be good. Okay, now that that's in, now you got to get the little seatbelt guide in. Sorry, so what I meant to say was work it in from the front first and then come to the back. And then once those two screws are in, those are just T15s. Put that back in. I'm going to flip it around. And the last thing we got to do is put in that bottom seatbelt bolt. That's going to be a T50. up, there is going to be a pin. Okay. Obviously you're going to hopefully not get it a little bit dirty here, but that's just going to be the way it is. I tried not to get it too dirty. I tried to have a clean table and it'll be okay, but you know, try to do a clean workspace. And there you have it. And that's the final product of the seat. So at that point, now that you have the seat all together, all you got to do, put it back in the car. You're going to want to put that little push clip in here for the wiring harness, connect that master connector, slide your seat belt in, put it down, clip it in, and pull it up first. Put that T30 in there, put that clip in, and then tighten down your your four 13mm bolts, and that's it. Double check everything, make sure you have no code, start up, the airbag light shouldn't be on and everything should work just fine. Double check and make sure you're all good. Hopefully you are. If you followed this, you should be good. So anyways, that's how you do a conversion. I think it came out pretty good. I really like the way they look. They're a lot more comfortable if you ask me, and looking forward to it. So anyways, hope this helps. Good luck.